Big Ten. Michigan. Northwestern.
All right, welcome to First in the Big Ten, starring me, Robert Jones. It's a sports show I put together with just me and me only about the Big Ten football conference. I'm great at football.
What the hell, dude?
What's up, man?
You told me 6 o'clock. What the heck's up with this guy?
Yeah, it's change of scheduling. You get the email?
Who reads
Because
emails?
I didn't send it.
Shit,
Anyway,
since when do we email each other? This guy don't even want me on the show anymore.
welcome. Anyway,
Leland 51.
what is it?
No,
What is
just
it?
go.
Just go ahead.
Finish up what you're doing.
Tell him, man. Who are you?
You don't want me to talk? You talk. It's your show. I'll listen.
Speaking of talking, let's talk about the little what we call the pick that we had between Northwestern and Iowa.
Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about how are you doing, Robert Jones? How's life?
Life is good, and I'll tell you why. Iowa, Northwestern. You want that? You have Iowa, give me Northwestern.
I still like. In Kinnick Stadium, Iowa's gonna be ready.
Give me Northwestern.
It's gonna be a good game, though. I haven't seen anything to show me that Iowa's gonna dominate them because they haven't done that this year. I think it's still gonna be a decent game, and I'd still watch out if I'm Iowa.
Northwestern, I'm counting on you. I'm picking
It's
you
gonna be
over
a tough
Iowa.
game.
All right, don't let me down. Even though you're on the
If
road.
Iowa comes out and comes in thinking they're just gonna stroll in there and win, I don't think they will. Northwestern's gonna beat them because Northwestern is playing better now, but that's gonna be a tough game. I still like Iowa, but.
And that right there, my friends, is why it's my show, because I'm the brains and the beauty of the show.
The guy gets, we're on show, 6 now? He gets one thing right. Don't let me forget it. So what?
It's the most important thing, all right? It's
let's
three
get into
meals. It's
Iowa.
3 meals a day. The most important meal is breakfast, all right? You don't be
Who
like,
eats
well,
breakfast?
we got 3 meals. You
I
got
don't
one
eat
right.
breakfast. Do you eat breakfast?
No, not really.
Iowa obviously needed to eat breakfast. But I'll say this.
Northwestern had their
They got
wings, I'll tell you
screwed.
that.
The fans were throwing bottles on the field.
As
They
they
had everything
should.
right.
As they should.
They were getting other calls. Northwestern was getting the calls, and Iowa's same thing was happening to them, and they were getting the calls. It was a screw. It was ridiculous.
What kind of call did they need when they let in Justin Jackson 26 carries, 171 yards? What call is that, huh? You tell me. Somebody tell me what kind of call is that. They kept calling the run play.
Analyst hat on
That's what
right
they
now.
were calling.
It's the 3rd week in the row. Iowa got beat in the trenches. My Hawkeyes. Great job, guys. Still search for a deep threat. Don't have Vandenberg. McCarron looked like he could be the guy. Jermaine Smith pops in there every once in a while. Jay Shield had one good catch. Finally looked like they got the offense going. It didn't go well.
Can I talk? Can I say something?
Something? Okay, I'm going to continue.
6 sacks by the Northwestern defense. 6.
It's a lot of sacks. And most of them are pretty bad because there were at least 5-6 yard losses. And I think most of them were coverage sacks because he ain't got nowhere to go the ball with. Who's he going to throw it to? The offensive line ain't run blocking. They don't got one thing we thought we had with Iowa was a dominant running game.
You know, Northwestern's going to throw it to. They're going to throw it to Austin Carr, who's going to catch it 6 times and score 3 touchdowns. That's what we're going to do. I don't know who you're going to throw it to.
I don't know either.
We're going to throw it to Austin Carr. Throw it 6 times, he'll get 3 of them.
Tim Dwight ain't walking through that door, ladies and gentlemen. He's not.
He might. It's alumni homecoming week for some of these teams,
He's
so he might actually
better
come
running
through.
deep than these guys because it was bad. They got beat in the trenches once again. They battled back. They got one play. They kind of got the running game going, but they couldn't get Northwestern off the field on 3rd down. Well, how many times Iowa punt?
8.
How many Northwestern punt?
1.
That's not good.
That's good to me. That's very good. Well,
Hayden Fry's not happy. Is Hayden Fry happy? No, he's not.
I'm happy because
I know Iowa ain't happy just giving him a contract extension, Mr. Kirk Ferentz.
This
Way
is
to
probably
go.
this is probably going to be his farewell show. So guys, make sure you tweet him, give him some support, and best wishes on his future endeavorments. So
I picked the wrong team to get into in the offseason.
you pick the wrong
I bought a
team
book.
every week.
I started listening to their podcast.
Don't read.
They fell apart.
Don't listen.
They had some pictures.
Just look at the pictures.
Let's talk about a different game. I'm through with Iowa right now. I need to talk about somebody else.
Well, you picked the game. What would cheer you up? Did the Buckeyes cheer you up this week? You picked the game to talk about. Let's talk about Ohio State.
Buckeyes. Why don't we just talk
You
about
pick it. Look,
the
I'll be
big
fair.
game of the weekend?
You pick them. But we're going to talk about Ohio State.
Let's talk about Wisconsin and Michigan.
Come on, man.
That was the
That's
big
why-
game of the weekend.
That's why he's not in charge.
I mean, it looked like you could go back into 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Wasn't a lot happened in that game not compared to the other top 10 matchups. But Michigan clearly dominated on defense. Both defenses played well, but Michigan did enough on offense, even though that first half, to me, 7-0 should have been a lot worse. You can make a damn field goal, but they cannot do that.
Missed 3 field goals, man.
And Hornerbrook got a big dose of reality by getting blasted all day long. Didn't look comfortable. Wheelwright was the only guy he really could depend on.
I don't want to bring it up because I picked Michigan to win too, so I'm actually right twice.
Kind of what we thought would happen, but I expect a little more out of them. I mean, they got 14 points, okay, but they got more weapons than that. But they weren't really doing much offensively either, which surprised. It looked like that first half, Michigan was going to come out that second half and put them away, but it took quite a while.
I will say Michigan did control that game. Missed field goals hurt them. Just say special teams play in general kind of hurt them. They didn't really look too good. Their secondary is a little bit overrated to me because they was getting away with a lot of pass interferences. A couple of those plays, like the second interception they got, is because Hornibrook was so rattled from the defensive line, getting pressure on him and hitting.
They couldn't block him.
He was by himself. Nobody was even around him, and he still just so much pressure. He overthrew the ball. The receiver was actually wide open. He just threw such a bad pass that Michigan picked it off because it would have easily been a first down with another 5-10 yards to go. So
across the board, maybe not, but I think with Jordan Lewis back, that defense is dominant,
definitely.
and they keep everything. They don't give as many big plays, and they can stay aggressive. If you can't beat them vertically, you're not gonna run on Michigan because their defensive line is going to dominate.
Ohio State can.
Well, we got plenty of weeks to figure that out, but
probably more Northwestern Wildcats too. But
they play Northwestern, and Northwestern ain't beating Michigan.
let's play it. We can play it right now. I don't care. Call them.
Really, if you look at offenses across the board, they don't play Nebraska. Nope. Indiana and Ohio State are going to be the only teams that might be able to challenge them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Indiana can go. If you don't go vertical, Michigan's going to stack the box and pound you all game long. Just like Wisconsin didn't have nowhere to run.
Yeah, Wisconsin's defense played great though.
No, their defense is good. I mean, they had to get more out of that passing game. 88 yards.
Yeah, that was terrible.
It was bad.
But he was young. We knew it was going to happen. He was going to blitz him and blitz him and blitz him some more, and they did that.
And he wasn't comfortable. And by the second half, he was even more uncomfortable.
By the end of the first half, man, he was frustrated and fluttered. He was his internal time clock was going off so quick that he wasn't following through on his pass. He wasn't stepping into him. He was just letting them go, throwing them sidearm. And
they were the better team.
It was terrible.
It's Michigan's first top 10 win since 2008, so they got that off the board.
And for all you Michigan fans, you guys are tied with the most. I think they're tied for first with the most top 25 victories as a team right now. So they got Colorado that they beat and Wisconsin. Yeah, everybody else who beat ranked teams.
A pretty good win.
Yeah.
Colorado's playing good, so we'll see. They finally go on the road this week against Rutgers. Finally, haven't been on the road all season, so we'll
Rutgers,
see.
That's my squad right there, baby. Scarlet Knights, baby.
Yeah, we can get into what happened to Rutgers.
What happened to them?
Bad things.
They look good this week.
But that's enough for the first quarter. Let's get into the second quarter. Maybe get on a positive note. I don't like how the show started. I don't like the fact that I wasn't told the show was starting.
Check emails, even though I didn't send it.
Who reads emails? I don't want to get into it. You can't text?
Texting is old-fashioned.
I don't even have my phone number.
I send smoke signals anyway.
It's fine.
Back in the day.
I'm here now. The show's good. Everything's running smooth. Thank you.
When I was by myself, we had 7,462 viewers.
Let's get to the second quarter.
All right.
Till the second quarter. All right, welcome back. It's the second quarter. I was in quarterback. Luckily, I mean, he didn't try to kick me out. Forgive me, there was a second quarter, so I'm here, thankfully.
We're in a contract, and stipulations of the contract are, as I read, quote unquote, he buys the pizza. I like pizza. I gotta let him stay. So that's anyway, man, where we at?
We might as well get into the primetime Big Ten game. Indiana at Michigan State.
Is that who it was?
Indiana.
That was a horrible game by Michigan State. Horrible. Michigan State, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
You know, it was a close game. They won the first half, but Indiana was plagued by missed opportunities. 2 missed field goals, a turnover and downs on the goal line. But both teams struggled to run the ball. But in the second half, that changed.
Michigan State was getting dominated, though, at the line of scrimmage.
I mean, the one thing that's the one thing I'm surprised at. We thought maybe they figured it out against Notre Dame in the last 2 weeks.
Right.
They've got dominated in the trenches again. They
Right.
can't run block. Now, they continued to give L.J. Scott the ball. Gerald Holmes didn't get a lot of carries, but then when they started giving him the ball in the second half, some good things started to happen. So maybe that'll be a different next week. But still, they're not overly dominant. The defense isn't overly dominant. I mean, they got some pressure, but not a lot.
That's the biggest surprise.
To me, it is to me, too. And Indiana stuck with it. Their defense, we keep talking about them every week. That's the biggest surprise for us. Their defense is playing great, keeping them in games. They kept them in the game in the first half when the offense missed some opportunities. That's the biggest surprise to me, is just how well Indiana's defense has been playing. In this game, it was a great game, went down to the wire. They had some big plays late, and then they were able to drive down for the game-winning field goal, which he missed the first time, and then the guy got a penalty for leaping, and he got another chance at it. So
I don't know why guys do that, man. Like, you can't, like, you know you can't do it. Like, why? I know you're trying to sell out on the play.
I've seen two of them that happened.
Right.
One of them was in another game was on a punt, and that one was on a field goal, but
and they missed it.
It was a huge play, and they gave him another chance, and it was a huge win in Bloomington. I mean, the crowd wasn't completely full, but the crowd was into it. It was just a great win for them. I thought the announcers did a great job. They were into it. When the announcers are into it, it makes you more into it. It made it feel like a big game, and for Indiana, it really was. It's a huge win for them. They had that. They stubbed their toe with Wake Forest, but they're over that. They didn't come out and turn the ball over, and they just were the better team on Saturday.
We've been trying to tell y'all. So I'm starting to get it. Maybe we were a little overboard. Maybe the Big Ten as a whole isn't better, but some of the teams have gotten better because Michigan State seems to be going down a little bit.
Notre Dame's dropping, so that's making that Michigan State win.
Penn State's still kind of middle of the pack. They really didn't come up none. But as far as the bottom teams, I think they all came up a little bit. Iowa actually won the Big Ten West last year. That probably won't happen this year. So it's like some of the top teams kind of went back a little farther than we thought they would. But don't be surprised that Indiana beat Michigan State. Don't be surprised that Northwestern beat Iowa. Like, these teams have gotten better, and they deserve their respect and their credit.
Indiana's competed and was right there with all three of the top teams in the East last year. And this year, their defense is playing better. Their offense is trying to catch up. They got some weapons. Ricky Jones, your man, and then they got some running backs.
Baby. It's my nephew.
And it was just Michigan State. They were like Ohio State. They lost a lot of players, but they haven't replaced them yet. They had some true freshmen. Donnie Corley's showed some things, but they had Lane playing like. They got some true freshmen. Other than R.J. Shilton, they don't have that weapon they can depend on. And he's kind of having to do a little bit of everything. If he ain't getting off, then their offense is trouble because the true freshmen just got to continue to get better. But
teams are starting to game plan
as of right now,
because they know it.
They're too one-dimensional, and they're not dominant at that running thing at the running game, and that just they got a lot of work to do.
The Big Ten is all about the line of scrimmage, man. I mean, that's probably the same thing at every conference, but probably more so in this one because everybody likes to load up, everybody likes to run the ball. That's why Michigan's so dominant. It's at the line of scrimmage. Even though their offensive line's a little bit weak, I think they've given up 9 sacks this year. That's kind of surprising for them to give up a lot of sacks.
Yeah.
A couple of them been cover sacks, but for the most part, like, they've been doing a solid job protecting. That's why their offense is looking better. That defense is they're leading the Big Ten with 20 sacks.
As of right now, that rivalry, I think Michigan's going to get a couple of games down the road, but they're going to get revenge on Michigan State because where Michigan State is right now, they can't run the ball now. Yeah. Michigan, they're not going to run the ball at all. But so another team who didn't have trouble running the ball, the Ohio State Buckeyes. 410 yards rushing. I mean, we knew Rutgers could have been more.
Should have been more.
But Rutgers, they had a couple nice drives at the beginning, but other than that, 116 yards, just completely dominated. 33 yards passing. I think they got it on one reception. Because Ohio State just utterly dominated the game.
669 yards of offense from the Buckeyes, man.
553 more yards than Rutgers. That's a record. It's the most in 20 years.
Shout out to JT Barrett for setting the all-time Ohio State passing touchdown record.
And he's not done. And he hadn't even played 2 full seasons.
I'm surprised it was so low, man. You think of like all the quarterbacks like the Troy Smiths and Terrell Pryors and those guys, the Braxton Millers. You would think that it would be a lot higher than 50. What was it, 58?
I don't know, man. A lot of them guys, though, they didn't play a lot of years. Like Jermaine, he wasn't the full guy for only 1 year. Troy Smith, in that offense, other than maybe 06, it wasn't throw the ball over the field. 06, he threw it more than others. But still, when he threw 30 touchdowns, he still barely got 3,000 yards. Right. So it's like the offenses are different. Under Urban Meyer, it's wide open. And the thing is, it's not like they're throwing the ball around 40 times either.
But even think about it,
it's like they're run first more than anything.
He split the time with Cardale Jones
last year.
I'm saying
he hasn't been the complete starter for 3 years.
It's only, 4 games into this season?
He just throws touchdowns.
And this guy's already got the all-time record, man.
It's crazy.
He's going to end up with probably 90 touchdowns.
He's going to hold a lot of records, especially if he stays next year.
If he stays next year, he'll get 120.
They got the command of the offense. The offensive line's dominating, open up holes.
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel's doing him thing. My man Mike Weber's the Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Only averaged about 10 yards a carry, 144 yards. And the thing is,
that's light.
It's only his, fourth game?
Yeah.
It's his fourth game as a running back, and he's been over 100 almost every week. And he's only getting better. He finally broke one, which is what we were waiting for.
Yeah, a lot of people going to say that the competition ain't been that good, but you beat who you got.
He was running against Oklahoma.
They didn't score any points. They scored 58 points.
If they only had one guy that you had to key on, then maybe they'll be able to slow him down. But you can't just say, "Oh, we're going to stop Mike Weber." Okay, then you got to stop Curtis Samuel. They used Paris Campbell out the outside. They had some new plays, sending guys in motion. They got countable weapons. They're using Marcus Ball a little bit on Saturday, which is a guy I've been waiting to see for a long time.
They even put the young guy McCall in, and he looked good when he got in.
I thought Williams might be the starter or that third string guy or whatever, but McCall's came in and just every time he gets in there, he makes plays. So
that's the thing that makes
the future is ridiculous
so scary,
right now for Ohio State.
You don't know who to stop, man. They just
make you defend the field, which is what we wanted them to do last year, and they didn't. But this year with their play call, and they're making you defend the whole field. And with all them young weapons who are only going to get better, which is the scary part.
The Buckeyes have only given up 2 sacks in 4 games. They've only given up 2 offensive touchdowns, no rushing touchdowns.
The defense has scored as many points or more than the offense.
The defense has scored 4 times. They've only given up 2 scores. This ain't just 1 week, 2 weeks. This is week 4, man. We're in the Big Ten conference play. And
I know it was Rutgers, but when you just dominate a team like that, it's impressive. And
that's what you want to see from the number 2 team in the country.
Next week they got a tougher matchup, a big step up with Indiana. We'll see. Indiana's gave them troubles, but we'll see. But they're hitting on all cylinders right now, and they look like the second, maybe the best team in the country. But only time will tell. But right now, they can't do no wrong. So.
Well, that's about it for right now. We ain't gonna get into no halftime this week. We're just gonna take a quick break. I'm hungry.
Cut off my halftime. He's cutting my time out. Slowly. He wants to get rid of me.
I'm calling my lawyer because I want to get out of this contract with him. I want to be solo because you guys prefer me better anyway. So. We'll be right back in a minute. Okay, it is the halftime show starring me, Robert Jones. You can follow me on Twitter at It's Really Him 614. Yeah, Ohio State, they play good, and Michigan don't. And It's Really Him at 614 on Twitter. Follow me.
Yo, Rob, ready for the third quarter yet?
Yeah, give me a second. All right, I have to go because Leland, he be hating on me. And if you like our show, subscribe and follow us on the YouTube. It's Really Him at 614.
All right, third quarter time. Where we at? What are you doing?
Huh?
Why are you acting weird?
Nothing, man. I'm just chilling.
All right. You ready for the third quarter?
Yeah, we should have done the halftime, man. You know what'd be cool? You should let me do the halftime or something.
You?
Yeah. What's wrong with me?
You know, halftime, you're probably not gonna talk here and look all weird, just like my son did.
No, I won't.
You ain't gonna have nothing to talk about.
I talk about all kind of stuff. Like, my mind, dude, if you knew what was in there, you'd be like, if you give me 3 minutes, I probably would, it'll probably be non-stop talking the whole time. Because, it's like a thesaurus dictionary, Google Maps in there. I don't know what Google Maps have to do with it.
I don't know what you're talking about. But, to be fair, it is our show, even though you want to make it your show. I'll give it some thought.
I'm be on the next one.
No, you're not getting a halftime show.
Baby. Third quarter, man. What are we talking about now? Let's go.
Might as well talk about them Golden Gophers versus the Nittany Lions.
They lost.
That they did. Any
That's
more
it.
analysis?
No, let's move on.
We can't move on because it was a fun game. It was pretty exciting.
I should be on halftime.
It was a good game. I will say one thing about I'm liking Shannon Brooks from Minnesota a lot, and Rodney Smith. They got some 2 tough running backs, but Leitner didn't have a lot. Brian Smith stepped up, but
They played a good game. They just couldn't pull it all together to pull off the win.
Well, I mean, they looked like the better team to me
They were.
until Trace McSorley started hitting some shots deep. The one thing I think he's getting better and better. The one thing I liked about him, he's just by time. Every time he stepped up in the pocket, he hit a shot deep, and he just got more and more confident as that game went on, and put him back in that game.
I mean, that's what you got to do if you want to be one of the big boys. They were 3-0. They were riding high. They had an opportunity to go 4-0.
They're getting better. I mean,
they needed this Big Ten conference win. I think more so for confidence than anything else.
I mean, they had a great crowd. The Happy Valley was on fire. Once he hit that one big long touchdown, it ignited the crowd, and they were in it the rest of the time. Minnesota didn't play a bad game, but just Trace McSorley started hitting some big plays. And with 59 seconds left, they had the ball, had to go down there and tie it up. I wouldn't think they'd been able to do it normally, but they drove down there, hit another big play to can keep the chains going, and they end up kicking a field goal, getting it to overtime. And Saquon Barkley, the guy we talked about going the season, hasn't had the season he wanted, but
he broke one that game.
In crunch time, 26-yard touchdown, game over. But on a side note, there was another terrible targeting call in that game. And the thing that hurt was, like I've said time and time again, if you're going to kick a guy out, he better be doing something where you think he's trying to hurt somebody or it's on purpose. If you're hitting somebody and your helmets graze each other, how are you going to throw someone out? I don't care if it's the helmet. If the rule says helmets touch, should be more of a gray area there. There needs to be different levels of it.
Ejection from the game is severe.
It has to be.
You got to think of all the other sports with the things that you got to do to get ejected. You got to have 2 egregious penalties against you.
It's a personal foul. Your helmet's grazing each other. You're reviewing the play. You're watching it. So how you want to keep a penalty, even though sometimes I don't even think there is a penalty. In this case, he drove through the player with the quarterback. He didn't lower his head. Ran right through him, face up, right into his chest. What's the targeting problem? And the thing that hurts this kid was it's his first game.
Right,
it's his first opportunity he got to play. Right. A bunch of injuries. He went out there, made a good play. I don't even think it was a penalty. And they review it, and they still kick him out of the game. It's like that's something I think needs assessed in the offseason because it drives me crazy to no end. There should be something severe before you're going to take a kid and kick him out of a game.
Right.
There was another one in the Michigan State game.
I would rather them see, like, all right, something like that. Sit him down a quarter. Start off like that. Like, all right, you sit out a quarter, and then next thing you're out of game or something like that. Like, this is just too much, man. Like, you want these guys to run full speed. The other guy's bending down. You're trying to lower yourself too, and at the same time, you got to turn your head and.
I can see it. You got your head lowered, and you can tell if you're going in for the kill shot. Both these penalties, even Malik McDowell in the Michigan State game, he hit the quarterback, had his head lower, but it was off to the side and drove through the quarterback. He was ejected. Now next week when they play BYU, he can't play the entire first half.
Stupid.
It's like if you review these plays in the off season, they should look at these. Have different levels of it, just like they do with a face mask. If you're going to throw a guy out, it's got to be something bad, and he's got to be deserved to be kicked out.
Or at least take him out of the game, and then automatically review them after the game to see if you extend that.
It's horrible.
Extend that suspension. Because if you review it and you say it wasn't that serious or he shouldn't have been going the whole game, don't punish him the next game, make him sit out the first half or whatever you're going to do. Like, say, all right, he's already suffered. The team got penalized 15 yards. He had to sit out the rest of that game. But don't force him to sit out the half of another game, man, for an incidental thing that wasn't purposely harmful.
Exactly.
So I'm starting to hate these refs sometimes, man. The stuff they were doing. They were letting Michigan get away with pass interference all game.
Get off.
Cheating. Got time for this, man.
Let's talk about Nebraska, Illinois.
Good game.
It was a lot closer than what Nebraska wanted. They were losing in the second half until they started. Newbie stepped in and just made some big plays. 21 unanswered, but up till that point. They had 2 straight turnovers, but they pulled out the victory. So, I mean, it was a good win for Nebraska. You just got to win and move on.
Keep winning. That's what they did. They scored 21 unanswered points, which was...
I mean, Patrick Nelson, freshman defensive back for Illinois, had 16 tackles. He had a nice game. Illinois played a good game, but just... Illinois got going. He stepped up. Zigbo was hurt. He just carried the load, and when they needed him, he busted out 140 yards.
Illinois is better than people think. That's why I keep trying to tell everybody about the Big Ten. They got better.
I think they're showing improvement. I mean, they're not there yet, but I think with Lovie Smith, they're only going to continue. The one thing they got right now is Illinois fans are excited for the program, and that's something I've not always been able to say.
One thing I can say, Tommy Armstrong's been playing a heck of a lot better lately, man.
He's playing better. He had 1 turnover, but he's not turned the ball over or he's losing the game for him. They've had some turnovers, but they're getting better.
That's the thing about it. They played some close games where he's actually had to use a level head and keep his composure to keep them in the game.
Yeah, and make big plays.
This game could have went either way, man. It was a close game. Yeah. They went on a 21-0 run, but they were actually losing. So it was at that point where he still didn't try to force things. He realized they had plenty of time left on in the game. Stick with the offense, trust in the system, and then things prevailed for them. That's how they got to this point right there, and I'm kind of proud of that because last year it would have been a whole different outcome. You know, he would have been forcing it and trying to do everything by himself. He's starting to trust in his teammates, and the system is actually working this year. So, kudos to Nebraska.
Yeah,
they're no Ohio State, but
they're definitely playing good right now. We were worried about the Oregon game. They won that game. Now they're leading that West right now, and they're in the driver's seat. They control their destiny right now.
They went out there to be meeting the Buckeyes in the Big Ten championship game. So,
well, let's talk about another undefeated team in the Big Ten.
Who, Ohio State? Oh man, I can't wait to talk about. Oh.
We talked about this team. I said I was excited the first time I saw them on the offense. And, you know, Hills didn't have a big game, only 87 yards, but they didn't need it because they ran for 400. One guy they had, Ty Johnson, had 7 carries for 204 yards. They just ran all over Purdue, your boys.
What was it? Who? My boy, I don't like Purdue. Can't stand
picked them.
Who?
You don't remember?
Show me the facts. Show me the film.
Where if I controlled the editing process, I'll bring it up right now. But I know what happened. He picked Purdue. They got annihilated. The Terrapins are undefeated.
Who controls the editing process?
I don't know.
It didn't happen.
I don't know. Probably the same guy who doesn't deserve a halftime show.
Come on, man. You put me on a halftime show. It's going to boost ratings. We're going to have like all kind of endorsements. We'll have
He's going to talk about the Colts.
Reebok.
They're not even good. People in Indianapolis don't give crap about the Colts. Now, if you want to talk about a real team, you can talk about the Cleveland Indians who are going to the playoffs on Thursday.
Who watches baseball? Who plays
baseball?
Tribe. Who plays baseball?
Tribe time, baby.
I don't even care about baseball. We don't even know we even have a baseball team.
The Terrapins, great win. 4-0 start.
4-0, baby.
Starting to pound the football. Dominated.
So what do you think so far? They didn't have a real tough non-conference schedule.
No, but they won the games they're supposed to, and I think DJ Durkin's got them playing defensively and offensively.
So do they challenge the Buckeyes? Do they challenge Michigan? Do they challenge anybody in the East?
I mean, it's too early to tell.
Shot? It's not too early to tell. You already saying
I haven't seen them play anybody tough. Yeah, but I've seen them go out. I haven't seen Maryland go out and play a tough game this week.
Yeah, because they're blowing everybody out.
They haven't played anybody.
Man, that's what they said about
They got probably the best team they played so far. They got Penn State this week at Penn State. At least they'll be going on the road, tough environment. We'll see what happens because Penn State's playing decent. If they go on there and annihilate Penn State, then we'll be different.
They said that same thing about me when I went to go try out for the NBA. They said, who'd you play? I said, my son, his friend, some other kid down the street.
Exactly why he don't deserve a halftime show.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
Hey, I beat everybody they put in front of me. That's all I'm saying.
Let's go to the fourth quarter. Home stretch. Maybe this guy won't be here. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go to the fourth quarter.
All right, it's fourth quarter time.
Oh, yeah! Dig it!
We're going to be digging it, I presume.
Tower of power, too sweet to be sour. Yeah!
Yep. Couldn't put it no better than that. Anything else you might want to say?
Not as far as I got.
That's all I got, too. Let's get right into it, baby.
Get into it.
Week 6, we got Iowa, Minnesota, Maryland, Penn State, BYU, Michigan State, Indiana, Ohio State, Purdue, Illinois, Michigan, Rutgers. Where do you want to start?
Start from the top.
We're going to start at the bottom. Michigan versus Rutgers. Who you got?
I'm going to have to go with the Wolverines on that one.
Are you sure?
I don't know if it'll be 58-0, but it's going to be ugly.
All right, giving over or under 50-point win. Are they going to win by more than 50 or are they going to win by less than 50? All right.
I don't know if Rutgers is going to score, but I don't know if Michigan's going to score 58.
There it is. Purdue at Illinois.
They both need to win.
One of them's going to get a win.
But what I seen Purdue tackling last week, too many big plays in the running game. I think at Illinois, I think on the road, Illinois is going to run all over them.
I second that, Illinois.
Of course you do. You're picking after me.
Come
Copying
on, man.
me.
You should let me go first then.
Because you don't know what you're talking about. You want to copy off. It's cool. Just continue. Please continue.
Must I remind you, all right, about my excellent pick last week? All right. You want to talk about the Tribe? Okay, let's go with baseball. I picked the Reds. You picked the Indians. You see how that turned out?
Exactly.
Hold up.
I know what I'm talking about.
Hey, I'm going to cut that out.
Didn't they lose like 100?
Watch your mouth.
Pretty close.
Watch your mouth, baby. All right, Indiana, Ohio State. Who you going with?
Big step up this week for Ohio State, and especially for Indiana. I like Ohio State in this game, but I want to see how Indiana handles that, see how much their defense. But I think Ohio State will still win by 4 touchdowns.
Over. So you're going under 50.
Yeah, they ain't winning by 50. Now against Indiana, that's a better team. A lot better team than Rutgers.
There it is. BYU.
What do you think? Do I got to make all the picks, or you just want to tell me I'm wrong the next week because you don't pick nothing?
I mean, people got to get some humor. They want to listen to you talk about your pointless picks because you don't really know much of anything.
So he ain't wrong because he knows he would be wrong because I'm right 90% of the time.
If you're right, you're wrong. If you're wrong, you're right. Left, right, up, down, back, square, triangle, circle, X.
Why he's not getting a halftime show, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly why. That's another reason why.
Great.
Anyway.
BYU at Michigan State. I'm going to get Michigan State. They need this win bad. They're going to come in focused. They're going to win that.
Especially being East Lansing. BYU's not the BYU we've seen the last couple of years. They struggle to score offensively and just being on the road. If they give Gerald Holmes more carries, I think they'll hit enough shots and then they'll win that football game. Because I know what I'm talking about.
No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know anything. He read my notes. I think I put something like that. Probably not, but still. If he gets inside of here, he's like Professor X off of X-Men. And he like.
Am I right, Bobby? Yeah. Thank you, Bobby.
All right. It's three of us, apparently. I didn't know. Locked my doors a little bit better.
Bobby knows what I'm talking about.
Maryland at Penn State.
Let's
go Maryland, baby. They're going to go 5-0. They're going to crack the top 25 this week. The Big Ten.
Know what I mean, Bird? Know what I mean?
The Big Ten, they lost a couple teams. Like I think SEC and ACC got 6 ranked teams now. We're down to 4. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Know what I mean, Vern? Hey, Vern.
Yep. Maryland at Penn State.
Great
Maryland,
analysis.
baby. Who you got?
Great analysis. What were you saying again?
I'm not sure.
I wasn't
You hurt my
listening
feelings. I got low self-esteem as it is. You're not doing anything to boost
You're not
my.
getting a halftime show.
You're not doing anything to boost my morale around here.
You didn't even tell me when the show started, let alone boost your morale.
I did my best. I tried. All right.
You sent me an email.
Get an A for effort. How'd you get in anyway?
Huh?
Huh?
Your wife lets me in. She knows I'm the key to the show. She didn't give you pizza. Gave me pizza.
I'm gonna be in marriage court tomorrow.
All right. You say Maryland, Penn State.
Yeah, who you going with?
Should be a good game. You know what? I'm going with Penn State. I'm going with Penn State in the upset. Trace McSorley was my player of the week this week. Stepped it up. Found some deep threats. In Happy Valley. Maryland, you're going down. Your first loss of the season.
All right, folks. This is where you see excellence at its finest. Next week, when you tune in, I don't gloat because that's not the person I am. I just like to educate, you know. I like to school the youngin over here, let him know that Maryland.
Now I think of it, Penn State does have a lot of inches on defense.
Here we go. You already picked. Anyway, Iowa, Minnesota. You taking Penn State. I'm taking Maryland. Maryland's going to win by 13 at Penn State. Iowa's going to lose to Minnesota because Amber Hamilton, sister-in-law, is getting their PhD from Minnesota. So
I didn't go to college. Much love.
I went for a year, and I ended up working with him. So college ain't. You get what you pay for. Let's just say that. All right.
He wouldn't be where he is right now if it wasn't for me. That's for sure.
I'm taking Minnesota every week, especially if they play Iowa.
I've been taking Iowa, been riding that dragon. I'm getting off that dragon. I ain't taking Iowa on the road in Minnesota. I'm going with Minnesota. I just like where they're at offensively better right now.
Minnesota gonna lose, man. They're gonna lose now.
Probably. Kiss of death, baby.
I'm going Iowa there. I'm switching. Hawkeyes, yeet. Can I do that? Is that legal?
I mean, I switched to Maryland.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Yes, Robert. Yes. That's Robert. He said he hates Leland again. He likes to periodically come downstairs and just let everyone know that he doesn't like Leland either.
Robert can come down here and be just as good of a co-host to me as this guy. That's all I'm saying. He's probably more entertaining and probably pick better. That's how I feel about it. But we'll move on. Let's look at the top 25 this week. What do you think?
Yes, Robert. Yes. I understand you don't like Leland. I don't either. You don't have to keep reminding me. No one does.
So funny.
That's right. That's what do you want me to do? He came downstairs and said he don't like you. All right? I mean,
clap.
I can't control that.
Little clap for you. What you do? Anyway.
Ohio State, number 2. You got Michigan
as they should
4.
be. Maybe number 1 soon. Because I think they can.
I'm surprised that Clemson jumped Michigan, but I'm not surprised.
I'm not. Did you see that game?
I just don't understand. It's just like it's confusing. I don't understand how they do this. Like, how do they do the rankings? So like, why isn't Clemson ahead of Ohio State? Like, not that I want them to be. I just don't understand why they aren't.
Well, for one, they had a great victory. Ohio State went on the road.
They beat the number 2
but it's
team
probably
in the
just because how Clemson started out. They didn't start out like people
Yeah.
thought they would start out, and so they fell back a little bit. But
They're
like
defeated.
I said, it doesn't really matter. It's all going to work itself out. As
Right.
long as you're in that top 4, it really don't matter where you're at. You're going to have to win to win the championship. So
Right.
Washington had a great win this week, blowing out Stanford. They introduced themselves to the college football world.
Are they Big Ten?
No, I'm just
So
going
why are
down
you
there.
talking about it?
Did you bring up Clemson?
This is why I don't want you. Did I?
Yeah, you brought up Clemson.
Oh, my bad. Hey, folks. Anyway, got Wisconsin 11, Nebraska at 12.
Where's the Tribe ranked? Are they on there? Oh no, they're playing Thursday night against them sorry Red Sox. Home field, baby. Bring it on. Yeah, brother.
I'm looking
They're not in there?
I'm looking for the bottom feeder section.
You won't find the Reds. They'll probably be in there somewhere.
Oh, there we go. Indians.
Cincinnati Reds, right there.
Bottom feeders. Oh, there you
Give up
go.
the most home runs of all time in a season.
We are the most entertaining team in baseball history. No one's ever gave up as many home runs as we have. That means when you come to see us, you're getting souvenirs. Your kids are having
is
fun.
true.
It's a great activity.
I mean, you only got to pay like $5 to get in the stadium. You can't beat it.
Do the Indians do that? No, they don't. They overcharge you. They don't give you no souvenirs. The atmosphere is horrible. It's the
one
worst
of the best
stadium
atmospheres.
I've ever been in my life. All right.
It's going to be rocking Thursday night in Progressive Field, baby. Go Tribe! Tribe time!
How is it that Nebraska's undefeated and Wisconsin just lost?
I don't know. Do these have to make sense? They
don't-
don't. I am glad that Wisconsin didn't just drop completely way back. That's one thing I have. They lost a close game, but I do agree Nebraska is undefeated. They should be up there. But we'll see. Like I said, it'll all work itself out. They'll play each other, so that should be a good game.
It's just confusing me because
a lot of things confuse you.
there's no such thing as a good loss if all they say is, well, you lost. So it's like, well,
Good loss.
losing ain't good. How is losing okay?
I don't know. In Ole Miss's eyes, they've lost 2 games and they're still ranked in the top
Why?
15. We don't know. Ask them.
Then they say teams don't
It is
play
what they're
anybody,
doing.
but the teams that play somebody, they lose to them. Then they blow out the other teams who are nobodies. So you play 3 nobodies, you blow them out, then you lose to 2 somebodies, and it's like, well, you're good because you barely lost to some somebodies, and you're better than some nobodies. But then you'll say Ohio State beats nobodies, but then they got to beat some somebodies. But then if they lose to the somebodies, they'll still be something because they beat the nothings. You write that down?
I got that. It blew my mind right there. Blew my mind.
All right.
It was magical.
Look at the chalkboard right there. It's x over z squared minus the circumference of pi r squared y
Equals Go Tribe. That's what I got.
equals- Just wait until college football does their rankings. So that's the only one that matters.
This is true.
All right, well that's about all the time we got for this week.
Maybe next week I'll get told what time the show starts and I'll be here on time.
We're gonna start
Don't worry.
next week at around 11:30 at night because it's daylights in my house saving time, so we got to save the lights in the day
Fair enough.
until the nighttime at night, and then we turn them on, and then we do the show at the nighttime daylight saving midnight hour sale.
Not a problem. I'll be here.
I'll email you. All right, it's really him 614.
Leland 5150. Go Tribe.
Follow us, subscribe, like the show.
Watch the show. Appreciate everyone who watched it
send
last
money.
week.
It's like my second time wearing this shirt because I'm in between shirts right now. You know what I'm saying? If that
I
makes
feel bad for Minnesota. They're probably going to fall off real hard after this.
Hey, because you picked
Sorry,
it. It had
Gophers.
nothing to do with me. Amber, we love you. Good luck at Minnesota
Maybe.
in college. I can't wait till you graduate. We're going to come work for you as your butler and chauffeur. So, well, he's going to be both, and I'll just be his manager. So,
Just tell me when I'm supposed to come to work because you can't even accomplish that. But anyway,
I will email you.
until next week.
First
Hopefully we
of
get
the
another
weekend,
exciting weekend this weekend.
Yeah.
We're out. Go Tribe.